Hello and welcome back to the Most Dangerous Podcast. This is episode 3, British Street Games. So, how have you been, James? You had a good week?
Hey man, how are you? Yeah, I'm not too bad. Yeah. I have a bit of a strange week actually. Bit of a strange week. So yeah, you know that I don't like spiders, right?
I remember.
So I'm okay with like anything else. So like snakes, rats, I can deal with all those. Well, the other day, Saturday, in fact, a spider walked into my room. Yeah,
Wow.
and he's still there right now. I've not moved since Saturday. It's a standoff. I can't move. He can't move. I've not even washed. I don't know what to do.
So, you're waiting for this spider to leave the room before you can.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of hoping I fall asleep and he bites me and I get some sort of superpower. I think that might have been done before, but you know, that's where we're at the moment. I'm very tired.
There's a lot of remakes these days, so I think that'll be fine.
Yeah, it could be the new one. So, what are we talking about this week, Fraser?
We're talking about games, British street games, because I think I
Okay.
originally thought about games and I thought there's so many different variations of games that, you know, we can address different types of games in future episodes. I thought I'd concentrate on British street games.
Yeah, it's very niche.
It's very niche, yeah, it's very niche.
Is it niche or niche?
Is it niche?
Is it niche or
I
niche?
think it's niche,
Yeah, we'll go with that. All right.
yeah. But yeah, also, British street games are something that we played as kids, and I think is kind of lost on children nowadays, and something that always it makes me a little bit sad. So I thought I'd like to talk about it.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay, let's go. So, a wee bit of history. Around since the dawning of time, children have played street games as a form of entertainment.
No, they haven't. What? Hang on. Wait a minute there. Since the dawn of time. That's a bold claim.
The dawn of time, yes.
The dawn of time. So,
Yeah,
what
but
were what were what were cave children playing in the street?
they were playing Run Away from the Saber-toothed Tiger.
Yeah, uh, T Rex tag.
T-Rex tag, yeah. I don't think a T-Rex would be very good at tag because they've got wee short arms.
Yeah, that's true. He uses tail. Hide the woolly mammoth. That sounds a bit rude. That actually. Would you fancy a game of hide the woolly mammoth, mate? Uh, not with you, pal.
Yeah, no, I'm all right, thanks. Yeah, do you want to see my elephant?
Pardon?
Yeah, cavemen. They must have played though, because children naturally play.
Yeah, not in the street though.
Not on the I suppose they didn't have streets, did
It's not
they?
the Flintstones.
Since a very long time ago, since the dawning of streets, children have played street games as a form of
Okay, yeah,
entertainment.
we'll go with that.
Um, okay, let's move on. In the early 20th century, some children had toys such as skipping ropes, marbles, bats, and balls. However, many had to invent games with whatever items were to
Like
hand. Common household objects were used, turned into playthings.
bleach.
Hmm?
Play with bleach.
Bleach, yeah, bleach.
What they had some mad stuff back in those days, didn't they? Like cyanide was a thing. You could
Cyanide, yeah.
just play with some
Yeah, they used
cyanide.
to use cyanide to like clean the worktop and stuff like that, didn't
Yeah,
they? Mad stuff. Dentists used to rub cocaine into your teeth,
those are
didn't
the
they?
days.
I know. Yeah, you can't get a dentist like that nowadays.
Well, it depends.
So I found there's actually a book called London Street Games, and in that book they actually list 30 different games that could be played with a boy's cap alone.
Right. I've seen these types of books, and I think
Yeah.
that it's not 30 different games, it's one game with 30 different variations. So, throw a ball, catch it in the hat. Throw a ball, put your hat on before you catch it. I've seen these before. I don't think it's as good as it sounds.
I was going to say, is that like saying that marbles is one game, or there are lots of games you can play with marbles?
Um, well, that's a good point. Yeah. Well, I suppose it's one game, isn't it? A game of marbles. whether it's putting in a sock
Yeah.
and beating your friends with it, or you know, throwing them at each other. It's the same game.
Yeah, I suppose so. I suppose so.
So, have you seen any of this book? Have you read any of it, or did you just come across it in your research?
I read about it. I've not even Googled the book to see what the front cover looks like. I'll be totally honest with you.
See, you put the effort in this week, Fraser. Good stuff.
I've put the effort in, definitely. Yes. Yeah. So no, I want to say I remember some of the games that we played because I don't know if our listeners know this. We've known each other a long, long time. I think we were maybe 10 years old, something like that. And while we were the start of the computer generation, you had your Sega, I had my Nintendo. On nice days, we played outside, didn't we?
Well, yeah, I saw your notes before, and I was made to play outside. I don't know if you remember this, but my mum was a bit mental. So she used to, like her hobby was cleaning up, tidying up, hoovering was one of her.
Your mom was a lovely lady.
She still is. But,
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, one of her hobbies was tidying up, and at midday every day. So the school holidays, if I wasn't in school at midday, I'd just get thrown out of the house. That was it, rain or shine. So he'd be like, "Mom, it's -3 and it's snowing." It's like, "No, skin's waterproof. Get yourself out there." And I'd be straight out. So yeah, I do know. Back in the day, we used to play out quite a bit. And if you weren't around, what used to happen is I'd used to have to go and sit in the garage, just end up playing with a bit of fishing
Wow.
wire, maybe play with a hammer or something. So yeah, even though we were the computer generation, I think I spent the majority of my youth outside, and not that I wanted to, it just kind of happened.
Yeah, but it was healthy. It was fresh. It was nice to be outside.
It was -3. It was -3. It
Um,
wasn't healthy. It's not healthy to be 11 years old in -3, minus degree temperature, I don't think. But nevertheless,
so some of the games we played football, conkers, knock and run, Kirby.
knock and run's not a game.
Is it not a game? Is that just
A game, if there's someone has to win in a game, don't they? Like who wins in knock and run?
yeah?
It's not the poor old lady who has to answer the door, is it?
No,
So I
true.
suppose, yeah, knock and run. I don't think knock and run's a game.
So knock and run's
Yeah,
harassment,
pretty much.
really. Um, but some of the more inventive games, you remember shit on a stick?
Uh, I think I did. Oh, no, you'll have to remind me. Go on.
Yeah, shit on a stick, where you got a big long stick, stuck it down a drain, got a bit of shit on it, and chased each other around with it, whilst chanting "shit on a stick, shit on a stick."
Yeah,
No,
again, I don't think that's a game. It's not.
no.
It's,
Okay then.
it doesn't sound like much of a game. I kind of half remember it.
There was never a
Yeah,
winner,
exactly.
but there was always a loser.
Exactly. There's no winner. No one sits around and
No,
says, "Do you fancy a game of shit on the stick?"
no,
It,
I suppose not. What about gullies? Gullies was one
yeah,
we came
yeah.
up with
That I enjoyed
ourselves.
that actually. That was good.
Yeah,
I mean, that
gullies. That
that
poor
was
old lady.
borderline harassment, but that was a game though.
Yeah,
I mean, there was two of us, and there was a winner. So
true. Yes. But I wouldn't say any of the games we played were dangerous. Although you did shoot my neighbor with my air rifle.
they shouldn't be walking past the fence at the time.
I know.
Yeah,
Selfish
I
of
didn't
him.
see him.
The only game I could think about from our childhood that was dangerous is, do you remember? I'm not going to use his real name, but we had a friend called Heathen Stickman that was.
I know. I don't remember him. I don't know who you're talking about.
No. Do you remember he tried playing chicken and lost?
Yeah, he did lose at chicken. I remember that. He broke his lunchbox, I think,
Yeah,
when he
he
hit the
did. Yeah, he
ground.
cried because he cried that his butty box had smashed, and
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Gledhill was going to tell him off.
Poor
Sorry,
poor
not Mr.
heathen.
Gledhill, someone else.
Poor,
Yeah, poor Heathen.
poor heathen stickman.
So that was that was about the only kind of dangerous game that I can remember from our childhood. Not that we really played that. So
Yeah, I don't think I've played that chicken.
So, James, this week I've chosen as my most dangerous British street game is the Royal Shrovetide Football. Played in the Derbyshire town of Ashbourne every Shrove Tuesday and Ash Wednesday. And it's actually the term, the local derby, used in football quite often, actually comes from the Royal Shrovetide Football.
What? So the term local derby comes from this game.
Yes, because it was in a Derbyshire town. I don't have much more information than that, but
Oh,
I,
right. Because there's like loads of local derbies, isn't there? I suppose like the big ones like Liverpool United. I suppose, well, that's not even a local one. United City, Celtic Rangers. There's about 10 of them in London, isn't there? Because they're all based in London. Yeah. So the phrase itself comes from this.
it does,
You
yes.
think?
So I've been told. I found that out since I wrote these notes, so that's why you didn't have it in your notes. So I do apologise, but
No, it's interesting.
every day's a school day.
Yeah. They say that, but these past 4 days haven't been a school day for me because I've just been sat here staring at this spider. It's still there.
Yeah, I bet you've learned some stuff about spiders, though.
Just that they're fat and ugly, and I don't like them very much.
Fair enough. So the Royal Shrovetide Football, unlike a conventional football match, Shrovetide Football is much longer than a regular football match and is played over 2 8-hour periods. The goals are 3 miles
So it's not a
apart.
football match.
It's not a football match at all, actually. No.
No,
Um,
it sounds nothing like a football match.
the goals are 3 miles apart, and there are very few
Yeah,
rules. The ball is rarely kicked, which again takes it away from football.
yeah, it makes it not a football match.
um, but instead moves through a giant hug.
What? What
Yeah,
does that mean?
I think what it means is the ball is in the middle of about 300 guys and girls all trying to get hold of it and walk it to the
And
goal.
they're all hugging each other.
They're all hugging each other, yeah.
Everybody hugs each other.
And now the
All
photos
right,
that I've
sounds quite
seen,
nice then. Doesn't sound very.
it sounds fun, yeah. The photos I've seen,
Doesn't,
they are all
doesn't
wearing
sound very
clothes.
dangerous.
Well, we'll get to that. There's no set pitch.
Sorry. Yeah. They were all wearing clothes.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a positive, is it? I don't know.
it's it's a positive for most of them. I'd say some of them are probably disappointed, but
Yeah, I'm disappointed.
yeah. So the game's played through the entire town. So shops and businesses actually have to board up their windows in preparation.
Oh God! All right,
Yeah, mental.
mental. Yeah, all these naked people running around.
And at the sides, elder citizens squirt olive oil on them. That's
All of what?
that's not true. I
Olive
made
oil.
that
I
up.
thought.
Yeah.
Oh right. Oh God. See, I was getting a bit excited. I was like, where is it? When's it on?
Ashbourne. It's not that far from here. So it started in 1667, but the actual origins were destroyed in a fire.
What do you mean? So that what the rules and like the
Yeah, I think maybe the guy that wrote the original
there's
"Let's
no
all."
rules.
Yeah,
Let's
well,
all get naked and get squirted with olive oil by elderly people in the streets of Ashbourne.
but you see, it says on the official website that it was started in 1667, but the origins were destroyed in a fire. So I don't know how they know it started in 1667.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah, maybe there
Don't
were
understand what that
rules,
means.
and then they were destroyed in a fire. So people
Yeah,
thought, balls to this, we'll just make up our own rules.
conveniently destroyed
Yeah.
in a fire. Conveniently destroyed in a fire, and now it's everybody get naked, get squirted with baby oil by elderlies, and then we'll just roll around, have a big hug for 8 hours.
For our more fussy listeners, I must point out that I made the baby oil bit up. In case anyone
Nobody's listening. Doesn't
no,
matter.
no, yeah, it's fine. So the game starts at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. What a
All right.
stupid thing to say. When the ball is so the game starts at 2 p.m. and the ball is thrown into the crowd by a respected local. Prince Charles did it once.
He's not respected or local.
Yeah, I think it's either a respected local or Prince Charles.
Yeah.
Who I must say is our king now.
Uh, no, let's not. Let's come on. Let's not make this political or
Yeah,
whatever it is.
that's a debate for another
Yeah,
evening.
let's swerve that. Yeah, we could do the world's most dangerous king. Oh, not the world. I keep saying that.
Oh, you can't say that. We'll
We
get
could do the
sued.
most dangerous. Yeah, that could be one of our episodes. Maybe I thought
The most dangerous king. That sounds good.
most dangerous monarch. Anyway,
Uh,
we're talking about this now.
I know.
Sexy game of football.
So the game finishes at 10 p.m. or when a goal is scored after 5.
All right. So that's a bit like playing in the park, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
you got to be home when the lights come on, when the street lamps come on. You all go, let's go win.
I think what happens is I think the game, when it gets to 5 o'clock, it's next goal wins. But if no one scores by 10, they go, fuck it, let's all go home because it's not going to happen.
Yeah, had
um,
enough of this.
and the ball, the ball itself is a hand sewn leather ball filled with cork to help it float in the river.
There's a river.
There's a river, yeah. I actually watched footage of a whole big team of people walking the ball down the middle of the river, and some of the shorter ones had to get out because it got quite deep.
It does sound absolutely ridiculous, but I must raise the question: why is it dangerous then?
We'll get
What
there.
makes it? Oh, sorry, am I jumping ahead here?
No, it's fine. It's at this point I'm actually asking the question. I'm beginning to question my notes here. I'm sure we'll get to it. Someone got hurt, I think. Um,
And that was it. Yeah.
so a goal is scored by tapping the ball 3 times against one of the millstone goals either end of the town. So
Which were how many? Like 3 miles apart.
3 miles apart, yeah. So can you
Yeah.
imagine that it's 9:15? You've been trying to score a goal to finish the game since 5 o'clock, and you get to tap it twice, and then someone gets it and launches it the other way.
I know, like hitting the bar.
I know.
Devastated.
I don't know why they need to tap it 3 times.
Well, I know because the rules were destroyed. So
Yeah.
who said that? They were destroyed in a fire. You could just say, well, no, I'm saying it's once now.
The ball's inside a big, massive hug of oiled up guys, and you got to think, who's counting it? Who's saying that was 3? No, it was 2. Actually, it was 5. I mean, is the referee in the middle?
Yeah, it sounds like it's just a bit of a free for all.
It does. Yeah.
It sounds like it's just a bunch of blokes making an excuse to have a big cuddle.
So yeah, I think so. There's very few rules even to this day. The first introduced actual proper rule was no murder.
No murder.
Yeah, no murder. So that
Yeah,
was so.
rules to live by.
But the fact that that was introduced, that tells me that people thought that that was okay beforehand and just cracked on with murdering each other to get the ball.
Yeah, it's like when you see those signs on there's sort of irons that you use to iron your clothes, and it says don't
Yeah.
use in the shower.
Yeah, don't iron clothes when on your body.
Yeah, stuff like that, and you think, well, someone must have done that to prompt that advice. So when
Absolutely.
a rule's been invented that says no murder, you think there must have been a murder.
Yeah. They've probably sat after, one of the 1670, 1680 games with bodies everywhere going, I think we need to put a no murder rule in here because this is getting out of hand.
Yeah, so I suppose like murder is, matters of forethought. So it's the intent, isn't it? So
It is, yeah.
yeah. So that's what makes murder the difference between murder and manslaughter. So when you're playing that particular game, at some point someone's thought, I'm going to fucking kill him, and then they decided, actually, no, we need a rule here.
Yeah.
No one's killing nobody.
Someone turning up with a shim down their sock.
Yeah. The marbles in a sock.
So on the why is it dangerous? I've got a couple of newspaper stories I'd like to read to you. Very short. So I'm going to start with a headline from 2016. This was the newspaper headline. Fancy a game of 1,000 aside? Bloody scenes at the annual Shrovetide football match, despite rules that clearly state no killing.
Yeah, it's not really selling it.
It's not, is it?
Fancy.
No.
No. Yeah, I think I'll sit this one out. I'll just squirt the oil.
Um, so I've only got a little snippet of the story because I'm not reading the whole story. So the story starts. Chaos was unleashed on the streets of quaint English villages today as thousands gathered to watch one of the nation's oldest and bloodiest sporting traditions. Hundreds needed medical attention.
Hundreds.
Hundreds, yeah.
Hundreds. And did you say before how many actually take part? I can't remember.
A couple of thousand by the sounds of this, because it says fancy a game of 1,000 aside. But I know there is. It depends. If the weather's nice, more of them turn up, maybe, But it's a few thousand.
Yeah, and there's hundreds of injuries.
Hundreds
and
of injuries.
Bloody as well. You said bloody there as well. So
bloody, yeah.
So it's not just a couple of bruises. We're talking full on.
Oh, proper injuries, yeah.
Proper injuries.
So another headline from 2018.
So more recent. So that was 2016 before, and this is now more.
2018. So this is like nowadays where we've got quite strict rules out there in the world.
Yeah, health and safety. I mean, where are they? Where are they in all of this?
I know. I think they send them somewhere else for the weekend.
Yeah, let's go look at that over there.
Yeah. Imagine some wee guy in his wee beige trousers trying to do a risk assessment on the Thursday.
Yeah, with his clipboard. There's about 1,000 people, or just with this ball full of cork.
Yeah,
wading through with. Yeah, I get it.
I don't recommend. I don't recommend this game at all.
We've come to the conclusion.
Yeah, you should all just go home. So our headline from 2018 is "Watch as a car is crushed by crowd during Ashbourne Shrovetide football match," and it says,
oh, "Wow,
yeah, a Renault Kadjar, Renault,
yeah,
a Renault Kadjar got in the way and was crushed under the tide of players."
It didn't get in the way. It was there.
It was
there. It was parked up. How could it get in the way? What, he's driving down? No, it didn't get in the way.
Yeah,
I don't know what one of those is. I imagine it's probably a small car, isn't it? Like one of these town cars. But it definitely didn't get in the way. You're blaming it on the car. Blaming it on the car to try and keep this tradition going.
I think the guy did that thing. Now, you're a driver as well. You must have done this. Where you drive past the first 3 road closed signs hoping that they're lying.
Then you get to the bit where it's, shit.
Bollocks, they were telling the truth. Every time, road's closed. No, it's not.
Yeah, I'm sure it's open now. This is an old sign.
Oh, shit, here's another one. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
So that's some of the headlines. So I mean, what do you think up to now? Does it sound dangerous?
It sounds pretty. Yeah, I'm warm into this one. It sounds pretty dangerous. Yeah. I mean, so there's been injuries. We've got injuries. We've got blood, which is always a good thing for the most dangerous thing. There's a lot of people involved. I think that's a tick. So. Yes. Has there been any deaths? No, I'm all about the deaths. I think.
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't come across a death yet.
No, right.
But
okay.
I also haven't found a British street game that causes a lot of deaths.
Well, Heman Stickman nearly died playing chicken.
But again, I think I've mentioned this in previous podcasts. I don't always think death needs to make it dangerous. I mean, it was dangerous for this guy's car. Hundreds of people need medical attention.
Dangerous for a car. Yeah, suppose it was. Suppose it was.
If you were giving this guy advice, you say, "Don't drive your car up there. It's fucking dangerous." It's
Yeah, I guess so.
you know,
yeah,
it got crushed.
it was. It was very dangerous for his car.
So I did find an article by a chap called Colin Drury, who actually went there to experience it, and
Okay.
he was meant to be just writing a report on it, but actually got sucked in and ended up in the middle of it.
Oh no,
So
was he in the Renault?
possibly, yeah,
Just drove up in it. It's the same guy.
the
Like,
car got
whoa!
crushed, and he like jumped out the
Ended
window
up
to
3 miles
save his life.
away.
Yeah.
3 miles away, tapping a ball on a thing. Yeah.
So I'd like to. This is first-hand experience. I'd like to see what you think about this. It's a small article. I'll read it quickly. In the middle of the scrum, life becomes a heaving, steaming, beer-sweating fog of rip-crushing violence. All around you.
Carry on. It's fine. Carry on.
Give me a second to breathe.
What? A beer sweating. Okay, start again. Yeah, go on. Start again.
No, it's too good. In the middle of the scrum,
Yeah.
in the middle of the scrum, life becomes a heaving, steaming, beer-sweating fog of rip-crushing violence. All year, all around you, hundreds of grappling blokes push and pull, surge and shove. It's the battle of the bastards, but with a ball hidden somewhere within. If you're small, and even if you're not, the sheer force of the squeeze can lift you from your feet. Seasoned players talk of seeing stars, an actual condition caused by lack of oxygen when trapped for too long.
Wow.
um, there's
That's
more.
incredible. Oh, is there?
There's
Sorry, didn't
more.
mean
Yeah.
to. Go on.
From the outside, this vast, brawling, barreling mass of beards, bald spots, tattoos, and top knots looks vaguely comical as it careens one way, then another. But this
Top
is a
knots.
game. This is a game where spectators who get too close get swept into the middle of the snarling, savage beast. Which is why one moment I'm making observations in my notebook, a bit homoerotic, and the next I'm unwittingly.
See, I see. I said that. I've not even been. I told you. All
It's true.
right.
So, so we a bit homoerotic, and the next I've unwittingly gone gonzo, and I'm right in the middle of the fucker. My breath and notebook gone, my face in an armpit, my worldview suddenly narrowed to nothing more than fists and feet in fury. Oh, and a bloke behind me shouting sage words of advice into my ear. Start pushing, start pushing forward, you soft bastard, or I'll do you myself. Blimey, righto, chap.
this I can't even say. This sounds like the most like. Oh no, I'm not even going to say it. Just proper like gay. Like really, really gay.
Can we say stuff like that
It doesn't
nowadays?
sound. I don't know. I'm sorry, but yeah, I don't mean to cause any offence, but it just sounds really, really like homosexual. Is that
It
better?
does. Homoerotic, I think.
Homo. That's what he said.
That's what
I
he
didn't
said,
say it.
yeah. So we're okay because
Yeah,
he said
it's
it.
just a bunch of.
So
So it's just a bunch of blokes having a big cuddle.
yeah, so we're neutral on it, but Colin Drury thinks that it's homoerotic.
Yeah, he loves it. He's going
Yeah.
next year.
So just the most common injuries, I found a list of them. So most common injuries: broken nose, broken ribs, broken limbs, broken
Okay.
fingers, crushed unconscious, and black eyes.
Crushed unconscious.
Yeah.
Goodness me. Yeah, I mean, I get the noses and the limbs and stuff, but I suppose crushed unconscious is just some guy you just fallen over and everyone just tramples on you.
Yeah.
I mean, that does sound pretty dangerous, to be fair.
My last note on Royal Shrovetide Football is I have put here, there is no real point to the game whatsoever. Because I researched it to try and find out what
Yeah,
the point
okay.
was. What does the winner get? I don't even think they keep score.
No, it's just one of those traditional, quaint English traditional things, isn't it? Where
Yeah.
there is no point. But we've been doing it for years, so we'll just keep on doing it.
I seem to remember a South Park episode where the whole town ends up naked in a big ball, rolling about wrestling.
This sounds pretty similar.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the naked thing, we've just kind of put that in ourselves. But
Yeah.
nevertheless, even the reporter said it was like homoerotic. So I think there's definitely some similarities there.
Yeah. So that's Royal Shrovetide Football. So James, so we've concentrated obviously on British street games, which is the theme of this week's podcast. But whilst I was researching, I did have a wee look to see if there were any kind of crazy games from around the world.
Okay.
The first one that took my attention was finger pulling in Bavaria.
Oh, yeah. Is that where they all fart? Pull my finger.
Yeah, something like that. But it's imagine arm wrestling, but they've each got a hold of one of the other person's fingers,
No, I can't imagine that. I don't get
and
it. So
they're
you're
leaning over a table.
oh, so the arm wrestling, instead of holding a hand, you hold
Yeah,
the finger.
just the finger, and you're pulling it. You've got to pull it flat across the table.
So similar sort of action where you have to push it down.
No, your arms flat along the table,
Okay,
right?
right.
And you hook fingers and you pull.
I can't picture it. I don't get it. So your arms flat on the table,
Yeah.
and then you hook. You make a little claw hook thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then what do you do with that?
You hook the other person's finger, who's
Like,
also the
like
other
that.
side of the table. Like, yeah. Well, when you say like that, this is a podcast, so
Yeah, but I'm just so like that. So then I can explain it. So
yeah, like
like that,
that. Yeah,
right? Okay. So you kind of
and
like
then
hook fingers, like I don't know what's that kind of a got it. And
like
then
two fish hooks.
oh, I. But then only one person. It must be like that, surely. No, how'd you win? I don't get it.
So the next one that I found
Moving swiftly on.
was called Maya Ball in Guatemala, and it's a little bit like hockey, but it's played with a big ball that's on fire, and you've got to hit it through a hoop that's off the ground.
Oh, I like the sound of that. That
Yeah,
sounds like my sort of game. It's
look it
like,
up.
did you ever play is it NBA Jam on the Mega Drive?
No.
Oh, never mind then.
Is there
Me-
is there a bit on that that you play with a ball that's on fire?
yeah, there is. Yeah, so if you got like proper powered up, the
Yeah.
basketball would turn on fire,
Wow.
and then and you'd be in the zone. You'd be the best player on the what's it called, court.
Court, yes.
Yeah, and then when you put the ball through the basket, it'd like burn, like the basket would singe.
Cool.
So it sounds pretty similar to that, only real.
I'm gonna have to get that on the emulator to see if I can
Yeah, it's fun.
give it a go.
And then like you'd kind of like when you were on fire, it would say you're on fire, and then you could do a slam dunk from the halfway line, and the commentator would go from downtown, and then you slam dunk it.
With this being like the Sega, the guy was in the same position from when he jumped to he put the ball
Oh
in the
yeah,
hoop
it was
from
like
the
one of
halfway
the
line.
like
Yeah.
yeah, so it was just like kind of
Frozen
arms
in
by
the
his
Air
side.
Jordan.
exactly that. Yeah. So this sounds like a similar sort of game. Is this still played to this day, or is this
Oh
like an
yeah,
ancient
still
game?
goes on. Still goes on, yeah.
All right.
So another one took my
I'd like,
interest. Sorry, go on.
I was just saying, I'd like to go and see that. I think
I'd
that's
like to go and see
sounds
it.
quite good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's in Guatemala. So
Is that where's that?
I don't know, I'll be a boss or something.
It's South America, isn't it? I think.
on train line. I think it is. I think
Guatemala. Yeah, it must be. Sounds like it should be.
yeah, it might be like Central America, like Honduras and all that.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
sort
yeah.
of that sort of area.
Around that area.
So another one, a game, the national sport of Afghanistan.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds interesting.
is called Buzkashi, and it's riders on horseback. Now, I like this game because this reminded me of the Shrovetide Football. Riders on horseback must carry a headless goat corpse from one end of the town to the other as opponents try to steal it from them.
Oh yeah. It's very similar, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like a bit more brutal. Well, not brutal, but you know what I mean. A bit more sinister, I suppose.
yeah,
But yeah, yeah, that's very similar to the British one.
yeah, but also quite different. But it made me think of it. I don't know how. I don't know if I'd be proud if that was my national game.
Yeah, well,
You know.
it's all right. It's fine.
Yeah.
The goat doesn't mind.
I don't think it's that arsed. I mean, it's headless.
Exactly. It's got no head, so it's not bothered. So
Yeah.
it's basically just about carrying a bag of stuff, isn't it? Which is the same thing as the English one because you just
Yeah.
carried a bag of stuff.
And the last one, I thought the Russians won't let me down. I'm gonna have a look at crazy Russian street games, you know.
Yeah.
And the most intriguing one that came up was the Russian circumcision,
Go on.
which is a game that Russian teenage boys play, where you pee against a lamppost and then stick your willy against the lamppost while it freezes, and then
Oh no.
rip it back off again.
Again, that's not a game. That's just kid. That's just kids messing about. It's like Dumb and Dumber, isn't it? When he puts his tongue on the pole.
Yes, yeah,
Similar,
yeah.
but with your willy.
That's it. Just imagine that scene on Dumb and Dumber, but it's his knob.
Yeah, yeah. It's not
Yeah.
that. I'm not buying. I'm not having that as a game. That's not a game.
So that's it. I just wanted to mention a couple of mad games things that I found up from around the world, just to show that we're not the worst in Britain.
Well,
Um,
it's all pretty similar, isn't it? It's all just a bit balmy.
it is,
You know,
yeah, yeah,
it's these quaint or these traditions, if you like, they exist everywhere, where
Mhm.
everyone just goes, "Fucking hell, just do that." That sounds like a good idea. And then for 500 years it just exists. I kind of like that about people, about history and tradition, that these things exist. I think it's a lovely thing. I think
Tradition. Yeah, it's a kind of weird thing. You go, why do you do that? I don't know. It's tradition.
it's just what we do. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
great. I
it's
like
just
it.
what we do. Just the done thing. So that's it really. So it's conclusion time. So how do you feel about the Royal Shrovetide Football as Britain's most dangerous street game?
Well, yeah. To be fair, I think you're onto a winner. The only other ones that that we could really think of is like what Bulldog or Knock and Run. No, yeah. So there's not really that many to choose from. So, and this does sound pretty all right. There's no deaths. I love my deaths, but no, there's no deaths. That's fine. I can deal with that in this situation.
Yeah.
But it does sound like there's been a lot of injury.
My kind of acid test on whether something's dangerous or not is I think, would I do it? And I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, it goes on for a long time. I'll
Yeah.
probably be busy.
I don't know if I'd even be that keen on watching it.
No, I know. It's like because it's 3 miles long, isn't it? So you'd
Yeah.
only get a bit of it.
It's like a massive rugby scrum with 2,000 people moving back and forward for 3 miles.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm gonna have to go agree with you on this. I think that it probably is. I think the way that it's been framed, because the most dangerous British street game, there isn't much else to choose from, is there? So we're gonna have to go with a yeah on this one.
Fantastic. Well, I'm a yes as well.
By default.
Yeah. It's like when your child wins gold at the gymnastics, but you realise they weren't competing against anyone.
Yeah. It's like you won first place in a
Yeah.
competition of one. No, but thank you. No, good episode. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. It's been interesting.
Excellent. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So we'll be back again next week. This has
I think
been the
so.
most dangerous podcast.
All
So
right. Thank you very much. All right. Take care, everyone.
good to see you. Take care. Bye bye.